probably wondering why my hair looks like this. Why I look like an insane guy. Why is my camera quality always that terrible? I'll tell you why. I watched Velma Season 2. That's why. For those who don't know, Velma Season 2 was an HBO original. It was originally Velma, and I had to tell you, it is the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. Alright, please don't cancel me, but it's the worst thing I've ever seen my entire life. The animation, the comedy, the lore, everything is terrible. Velma Season 2, it's even worse than that. I don't know how am I supposed to do this, so I wrote a few things what I need to say about, because oh my god, there is so much things that need to be explained here. Why you shouldn't watch it, why does it exist, and why people need to avoid it. So Velma Season 2 was released after from Velma Season 1. And the obvious reason, why? Why was this created? Why do we need this? Why do you have to rip off from Scooby-Doo, from the original, and then start making a weird version of it? Some kind of meta woke series rated by Mindy Kaling for an HBO Max series. The question is, no. Nobody knows. It's one of the most confusing questions ever. It's the most confusing question, the unknown questions like, where does the universe expand? Why do we live? The meaning of life, and all that whatnot. But nothing to compares to why was Velma, the TV series, created, and we might never know. And then why did it get a second season? And for that question, we do have an answer. So, not all questions can't be answered. Or not all, I don't know, doesn't care. I don't care about that. I'm giving you the answers. Why was this show created? Why? Well, it's a basically known common thing that a lot of people may have, avoided, or maybe people not know. So, there's this thing called hate watching. What is hate watching? It's basically you watch something so terrible, so god awfully bad, that you watch it anyways. Why? Because it's so bad, it's good. It's good bad. But unlike Velma, this is bad. I swear to God, every time I look at watching Velma Season 1 all the way to the last episode, my mind went blur. It's almost like I really want to put a bullet in my brain and I want to die. Watching this gives me depression. I have never been feel more depressed than the people during the Great Depression. Like God, every joke they did, any common meta joke, some kind of race, religion, whatever kind of joke they try, it's just flat out so bad. Looking at the jokes, you kind of gonna research what joke they have said. For example, one of the jokes was something about religion, and then something about voting, and then it just went to a whole different meaning. Like, if you want to understand a joke, you're gonna have to Google the meaning of the joke, and then go look at a few research, do your own investigations, just to understand a single joke from Velma. And even that, it's still not funny. Every time they make a joke during like a serious moment, or during like absolutely nothing, it just fumbles the bag so bad. I could think ChatGPT could write better jokes than Velma. I don't know what's cooking on a Mindy Kaling's brain. There are like a bunch of neurons, a bunch of brain cells working together, and he couldn't even make a single good joke? From the first season, it was already bad. Season 2 already made even worse jokes than ever. They start making fun of white, privileged, rich, religious, whatever people, and then it just makes it terrible. It makes sure that it represents them terrible, that they're truly who they are, but it just doesn't work. First of all, I'm sorry I had to let out all the steam I have, only because this is a terrible show. I don't know why people start doing this. I don't know why people animate this. I had to give my condolences to the animators though. They must have tried not to jump off the building for some reason. They really want to create this animation. Maybe it's just for them to get the paychecks. Maybe Mindy Kaling is just, has a bunch of money that they pay for the animators. The animators will definitely don't like the jokes and the storyboard. It doesn't matter. What important is this? Money talks. And although they have to suffer by making these torturous animations and, write all these things, they still get paid. So, sorry for the animators. It is what it is. The lore is also terrible. From the first beginning of the season 1 Velma, it's all about finding this serial killer. And who killed them, who cut their brains, and blah 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 blah. And the second season, same thing, but even worse. Now they have to mix a bunch of few stuff, and then they still have some personal problems between the characters, and personal problems between the characters' family, and other stuff that, doesn't make any sense. They immediately drop some weird lore, and they immediately drop weird evidence since Velma was investigating, and it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't make sense at all. It's like trying to figure out the person who started the killing. I forgot. I don't know. What I meant to say was who's trying to find out the serial killer that who's did a bunch of zodiac signs. I'm pretty sure it's called the Zodiac Killer. No one can solve it. Neither does Velma. Well, at the end, they do solve the case, but it just doesn't make sense. It just goes everywhere, around and around, and then they just added some weird stuff in it. It just doesn't make sense. I just don't know why. What make this show even worse? What made this show bad from the first season and to the second season? It just makes it bad. It just makes it worse. I don't know how. How is it even possible? I'm trying not to be so mad right now, but we're getting to the first thing, that the most awful thing that makes me mad is Velma, the main character, the title in the show. He's the worst person you'll ever meet in your entire life. If you go on a date with Velma, you wish that you will date someone else that is the same skin color, the same person, literally personality, just not Velma, just literally someone else. The freaking Amy Schumer's, it's not even funny, and he's still making jokes about her, what's under there. And maybe I'll just try to laugh at that, but not for Velma, because if you try to not laugh or laugh at him, she will still complain, because that's what she is. She's a narcissist. She always blames at people, always think that she's always right. In the series where Velma tries to, persuade, where Daphne tries this new pagan thing, whatever it is, and since Velma doesn't believe in religion, she says, "Oh no, Velma, no, Daphne, I know you more better, and I'm telling you not to do this." Even though this hurts Daphne's feelings, Velma doesn't care. He still doesn't care because he is right. No matter what he thinks, she is the most righteous person ever. He thinks she's the most smartest person ever. But as soon as he gets wealth from there was a certain episode where he gets wealth because Fred's dad will marry Velma's mom. That goes everywhere. He's starting to think like, oh, I hate the rich people. I don't like those white blah blah people. And the next thing you know it, he goes all ranting about, oh, I think money is pretty good. I think I like being rich. I think I like being this. I know that was supposed to be a joke, but God, that is not even a good joke. It just makes him even more hateable. I hate Velma more than the devil himself. Every time I watch him make a joke, either the joke is something meta, something about religious, or even the joke is something about like an 80s comedy show, or any kind of joke he makes, I immediately go, duh. What? Every time that he's trying to make a joke or even open her mouth, it's just like some sort of sleeping gas. It just breathes out and then it just suddenly dulls my head. Watching Velma doing everything she wants and doing terrible jokes, it's so bad I had to do this into my eyes over and over just to stay up, just to think if I can laugh at a single joke she said. But that eventually fails. Norville is the same thing. He is somehow having mental health problems because he thinks Fred's mother is haunting her. And then there's another part where her grandmother's alive and stuff. It doesn't matter. And since that, because he keeps getting haunted by Fred's mom, he has mental health problems. And the only way to solve it is food, because because back in that, Shaggy was a stoner and he likes to eat food and stuff. Get it? Funny? Why aren't you laughing? They treat mental health as treating like a soccer mom as in watching his kid play. It's like, oh yeah, it's okay, it's just just eat food and stuff, that's how you solve it. Even his dad became a worse person. I'm not gonna tell you her whole tell Norville's dad's whole story because it is just so boring and it's so useless. It doesn't add up to the lore at all. It's just this dad is just some kind of pothead. That's all I gotta say. Like I said, Daphne also having some weird things. She's believing in this weird seance thing, whatever. She's usually just like the same back at season 1. There's no character development, no anything, no nothing. I thought she would be way worse than the first season, but no, he's just another blah in another series. The only positive thing I can think of, well, not even positive. The only sort of thing I like is Fred. Fred is the least hated character I ever met. Yes, I get it. The Velma show really trying to make, oh yeah, he's white and rich and privileged and he doesn't know anything. He is a small peepee and whatever and whatnot. Doesn't matter, blah blah blah. And even though the show tries to make it like the rich, white, privileged, whatever people are terrible people, it didn't work. Because no matter how hard you try, it still works. Like, I get it. You're trying to make people look bad, but how can you fumble the bag that bad? You're trying to make some kind of meta joke that, the rich are terrible. They're not good people. But in the show, they're actually good people. Well, sort of good. But he's even better. They have more character development than Velma itself. Honestly, though, Fred is the only, sort of character that I enjoy, even though I will somehow puke and also numb down at his jokes at the same time. All the jokes are literally the same. Either religious, white, this, and high school, and then they're going back to meta 80s movie show. The most jokes I have ever heard is definitely, the 80s jokes. Oh, this reminds me of this 80s joke. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we should do this. This reminds me of this 80s TV series. Oh, that's an 80s TV series reference. I did counting of how many jokes were they made about the 80s and about the rich white now. I couldn't count it. I was so dull, I lost count of how many jokes they made about the same thing. It's literally that. 80s reference and stereotyping. Unlike South Park, or Family Guy, or any other kind of adult TV series show, they did those jokes so good. Velma decided not to. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I finally let out all the steam I have for Velma. I hope they don't get a season 3. Not for Mindy Kaling, so you can get bunch of rupees, but for the animators, so they don't have to work for this stuff anymore. I just feel bad for them. But yeah, that's about it. So plug it into the rating charts. I'm giving Velma season 2 5 out of 10. 5. Not even 10 or 20. I'm giving Velma the season 1 a 10. Season 2 a 5. It just gets worse. And if it gets a season 3 and gets even way worse, it's all over. It's all over for the TV series Velma. It's all over for Mindy Kaling. If it somehow gets good, it won't do anything. It won't make a change at all. Because both 2 seasons are already out. You already fumbled the bag twice. What is 1 season is gonna do? I don't know if I'm waiting for her miracles or anything, but let's just see. Maybe Mindy Kaling somehow is, messing with our brains and making all the character development good at the 3rd season. I hope there's the 3rd season. But yeah, anyway, that's it. Don't watch this show. You're just gonna give it more views. See ya.